What's up, Nightwalkers? So in this video, I'm going to go over this particular setup, FLIR breach, PVS-14 together on a KVC Universal Bridge. I've been using this now for about 2.5 months or so, at least 3 times a week. And I have enough time under my belt now where I just want to share with you some of the things that I've discovered with this particular setup. Before getting into the video today, there's something I have to make clear with everybody. And that is, as of mid-January of this year, 2021, I am now an employee with TNVC, Tactical Night Vision Company. And so what I do for TNVC is I'm an inside sales and product management associate. So I answer phone calls, emails, and just do stuff like that for TNVC as an official, full-time employee. So there's a chance if you call into TNVC or send an email, you may talk to me or communicate with me. My name's Will. So anyways, I just have to make that clear. In all of my content previously, I had 0 affiliations in the industry. Just a fellow enthusiast, producing content and sharing information with you guys on YouTube and on my blog. And that's my goal. I'm going to keep doing that. However, I'm going to get access to certain devices and things like that, as an employee of TNVC, which I will show on this channel, and I always make it clear, I will always make it clear what my association is in my affiliations in the industry. What prompted me to make this video is I've received some contacts from people regarding some comments that some folks made, questioning the credibility of people, who've stated that they've had success running the FLIR breach and the PVS-14 together at the same time. And so all I'm going to say about that is when I first tried this setup, I couldn't get it to work either. In fact, I made a video where I even said that, and down in the comments below, I'll put the link to that video. So what changed for me is after I produced that video stating that I could only use these separately, one at a time, I was contacted by some people, who basically said, hey man, look, it can work. I suggest, keep trying some stuff because it can work, and I just recommend that you give it a shot. So I took the word of these individuals and I said, you know what, I have an open mind. I'm going to try some different stuff. So I tried a bunch of different configurations using the KVC Universal Bridge, K-clips, OSS shoes, all that stuff. I even did a follow-up video to that explaining my particular setup with how I got it to work. And I was able to successfully get these to work together. So anyways, in this video, I'm just going to kind of go over, the last 2.5 months or so of me using it and share my thoughts about this particular setup. The biggest thing that I've learned with this setup is that if you're someone who's seeking a thermal application, to integrate thermal with night vision, and you're somebody who's using this in a serious application, and when I say serious, I'm talking about law enforcement, other applications where you have human threats who may shoot at you or you may be shooting back at people, then if you're looking for a thermal application to integrate thermal with night vision, then I recommend having a binocular device, 2 night vision tubes with an E-Cody, which would give you a thermal image, overlaid on top of the night vision for a true fusion capability, a true fusion device. This is not a true fusion device. However, I will say, if you're a recreational user, you're somebody like me, I have some property I live on. I go around, I use this setup to keep an eye out for animals, just kind of mess around, or even for hunters, you want the ability to have thermal on your helmet, then this is something I definitely recommend. And now the caveat is, you may not be able to get them to work together for you at the same time. If you follow that other video I did, I show you, kind of talk about how I set this up. There's nothing special about me. My brain it just works like anybody else's. So I'm pretty confident that if it could work for me, then it could probably work for you too. However, it may not. So as long as you're good with using them separately, night vision down or thermal down. So as long as you're good using them like this, then this is something I definitely recommend to take a look at. So basically, what I've learned with this is that I can run it together, with the PVS-14. And in this particular configuration, with exactly how it's mounted, with the battery compartment over here and the buttons facing this way, and with the FLIR breach's brightness turned down to a very low setting, sometimes the very lowest setting, and then using the outdoor alert mode with the white phosphor device, the thermal image for me, it ghosts out. And I don't even really see it. I primarily, and I'm right eye dominant, so the night vision's on my right eye. And so I see the night vision image, but however, when I get a thermal hit, like for my dog, rabbits, other animals on my property, in the outdoor alert mode triggers the thermal outdoor alert mode, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Pops up, and it gives me the appearance of a thermal overlay of the outdoor alert mode, which is like a red-orange on top of the night vision. And so with the breach ran in this configuration, it's in portrait mode, so the thermal screen for my brain, it doesn't occupy as much of the night vision image as it would if this was in landscape mode. And so for me, that's how it operates. It works the best in outdoor alert mode. Now for my particular property, outdoor alert mode works very well. I have a lot of elevation changes here, and the skyline is generally up higher. And so what happens if the skyline's lower, or you're on a very flat piece of property, the temperature difference with the sky, it triggers the outdoor alert mode, and you get too much outdoor alert mode. So I will say, in those types of applications of terrain, if you have a lot of flat terrain and you're going to get a lot of the skyline in your view, outdoor alert mode probably isn't going to work the best for you. So then you may not get that same type of a fused, I even hate to say fusion, how about semi-fused image of the thermal with your night vision. The KVC bridge, as awesome as it is, it does have some potential issues that could develop, namely being the friction of the hinges. So, when I picked up this bridge, it was used. However, it didn't have much wear on it, and so this side used to stay up just like this one does, where I don't have to lock this one out. I can just kind of move it out of the way. This side now, it's gotten so loose to where I have to lock it out every time. So it's not a big deal because you got the button, and by staying locked up there, it's not going to come down on you. But it is kind of annoying, and it's also developed a little bit of a squeak. So could be an issue, if you're trying to stalk on some animals and you end up moving this thing and it squeaks and kind of alerts your presence. The other thing I've learned is that the battery extender that I had in my other video that uses a 16650 battery, I've come to not like that at all on the helmet setup. And so the reason I don't like it is the battery indicator always shows low, and I really don't know when it's going to go off on me. What I did is I ended up just using a remote battery. And so what I do is I have this Anker battery, and this was from a TNVC TRB, but I didn't want to mount the TRB on my helmet. So what I ended up doing is just taking it out and basically sticking it in the back of this Mark II Gen 2. And what it allows me to do is the battery goes on top of my weights that I have back here for counterweight. And then on the front, I just run the cable. You can kind of see it up here. I use some gaffer's tape to tape it down when I'm not using it. And then all I do is I just run the battery cable down here and just plug it in here to the port. And I use a 90-degree connector, so that way it doesn't get in the way of the PVS-14. And you kind of see how it goes in here. You get it in there. And so I have enough space where it doesn't contact. And then the battery indicator works also, which is a huge benefit. And then worst case, this thing has a status on it as well. So when you turn it on, you've got some lights on it, and it shows you the indication of how charged it is. So you got four blue dots. Obviously that's full charge. Going down to 1 is going to be running down to empty. With the KVC K clips, when you buy them, you got to buy them as a pair. You get 2 of them. Normally I just kept the 1 on it, but I actually like having the 2 of them. So what I'll do is, so this is where I have 1 of them, whenever I use it together with the PVS-14, because I have to have it in this orientation. But then with the other K clip in this position, what I do is, quite often now, I've found a really cool use for the breech, and that is, I'll take off the PVS-14 on full moon nights or early in the morning, or when towards at nighttime when there's still sun out, there's still too much sun up in the sky to use night vision, and I'll just use the breech by itself. And so with this particular setup with the battery down here, I'm in landscape mode, so I get a better thermal image, whereas with this other setup, with the K clip on this side, it's in portrait mode. And so I'll switch back and forth, and having both K clips on there is nice, because then I can use it that way. To wrap up the video, I will say that this is a configuration that I really like. Now I do like it for the fact that I can swap back and forth between 2 PVS-14s and then the breech. For me, I can handle the weight of the 2 PVS-14s. Other people, they absolutely cannot stand the weight. especially if you have neck problems. I would definitely not recommend having 2 PVS-14s because it's a bit heavier. However, if you're not opposed to doing this, then I think it's a great setup for the fact that you can go back and forth whenever you want between the breech and a 14 or 2 PVS-14s. Me personally, I prefer having both eyes under night vision. So if I had to choose between a binocular device or PVS-14 in the breech, you know, me personally, I'd go with the binoculars, and then I would add something like the breech or another thermal as a handheld to complement the binos. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.